Rolex will butcher that watch all day. They don't care.
We've had 34 people apply for a sales manager position.
Speaking of the coffee machine,
But he's beating me up for $100.
In the month of September, we sold 114 watches.
there's a level of quality I won't allow through the door.
Found out the whole bottom was cracked.
Not everything's perfect that comes through.
We had double-digit watches coming through.
No dust.
I'm trying to film here, sir.
We'll give it the old slider.
Like, I mean, when you replace them with real parts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
this
'cause-
is so funny.
because I get-
This is
Yeah.
very controversial, and I've dealt with this before in the past. People have accused me of selling Franken watches because, I have taken a watch and restored it, or I sold a watch to somebody that had a service dial in hands, and between my client and I, we're okay. But then somebody would be like, oh, that watch isn't original to Frankenstein because it's put together with parts thereafter. And I'm like, look, no. The way those deals work, if I have a Mark, let's just say I have a 1675 and it needs a Mark II dial in hands, and the watch showed up in my desk, at my desk with a service dial in hands, I have every right to go find a correct dial in hands that are period correct to the watch. It does not make the watch Franken. It's the most frustrating thing to have to explain to people that are very naive to this industry, because it's no different if you had a car that you're restoring and you happen to find the original parts, not some reissued parts thereafter, but if you pulled it off of another car that was same year, same everything, it should be okay. I mean, you're restoring something. I mean, at the end of the day, when I buy a vintage watch, I don't know if somebody put that watch together with the original parts, because the parts are original and they're correct. As long as it checks off those boxes, the bracelet code's correct, the bracelet's correct, dial, hands, bezel, insert, all that stuff match to the correct period, I don't have a problem out of the gate, because there's no way on earth myself or any other dealer or any other expert for that matter can tell you that watch was replaced with the original parts versus being all original. The thing is, yes, if a watch comes in and it's serviced, been Rolex took it apart, Rolex will butcher that watch all day. They don't care. They're going to put their newer dial, newer hands, and newer this and newer that, and the end user may not even care. But that's basically the topic of Frankensteins. I think what most people want to think is going on, it's like, oh, you're taking fake cases and putting real movements on fake this, and no.
All right, I know this is everyone's probably favorite segment, is actually the numbers, because we haven't done discussions of numbers in a really long time. We hosted the sales competition last month. I almost said last year. Last month, in the month of September. Unfortunately, last week I was actually gone, and so we didn't report the numbers. I forgot to share with Marco, and I don't think it ever got filmed. But I'm back. By the way, I was in LA. Thank you, USC, for hosting me that weekend. I was able to watch the USC Washington State game, and maybe we work something out. I do have the numbers for September. Now, I do want to preface a few things. We are pretty much a startup because we did rebrand earlier this year. Obviously, people aren't here who were formerly involved with our company, and they resulted in a lot of sales. This is really starting fresh, rebranding, and slowly growing the company again. Can you insert a drum roll?
Yeah, drum roll happening now. Yeah.
All right. So in the month of September, I have a resume here. I gotta hide the resume. I've done 4 interviews now today. We've had 34 people apply for a sales manager position. A lot of great candidates. I think it's the key to unlock the sales team that we have. You'll see the numbers I share. I think we can do 2x or 3x that if we have the right person leading that sales team. Without further ado, in the month of September, we sold 114 watches for a total of $2,345,605 of revenue. There was 2 teams. There was Fully Linked, which is Alfred, Jai, and Trent. And then there was No Name, which was just Victor, Marco, and Eric. They never decided on a team name. I feel truly bad for Alfred because he had a team and they were doing very well, and Alfred himself accounted for 80+% of the profit and revenue for his team, because unfortunately Jai had a passing in the family. So Jai actually went back home to be with his family for about 2 weeks. Trent was testing out doing a hybrid sales. He's actually going back to operations. Again, he didn't really contribute too much, and Jai, being out of office, wasn't able to contribute too much either. So Fully Linked came in at 50 sold watches for a revenue of $998,875 with a profit of $65,950 or $905, $65,905. Let's just say Alfred did more than 50,000 of that 65. Marco, Victor, and Eric, they were losing for about the first 2 weeks prior to Jai leaving, they finished with $1,346,730 in total revenue. They sold 64 watches and they made a profit of $105,591. So all in, we did about like 70 something? I should have added those numbers before I got on camera. All in all, we did about 2.35 million in revenue, and we did about 170,000 give or take in profit, give or take a couple $100. I would say that's pretty darn good, considering that during the best TPG days we were doing 3.5 million. But keep in mind, Anthony, Liz, there's other sales members that were part of this team. Regardless of how you feel towards them, they were a big part of that team in terms of sales. And so for us to be north of 2 million, pushing 2.5 million with the team that we have now from where we were in April when we rebranded, I think that's incredible. So the goal this month is going to be pushing it over 2.5 million with over $200,000 in profit. If you guys are smart enough and you guys listened to my video last week, I said that our all-in fixed expenses are about 85,000. That goes to show what we're making in terms of net profit. But like I said, I think the goal should be much higher. I truly think this company can be cranking out, let's call it $200,000 to $300,000 of net profit a month. We just got to find a way to unlock those 5 sales reps over there, and we figured out our capital issue, got proper funding, so we're ready to roll. I'll show you guys what else we're working on over there because I've been gone for a little bit. We're rearranging. You know me, Matt. I like to rearrange. We've been talking about a fish tank. It's going to be coming in this week, supposedly. We did get it here and found out the whole bottom was cracked, so they had to order a new one. We're getting a coffee machine at some point.
Yeah. Speaking of the coffee machine, where's my coffee machine?
It's coming.
I'll bring a Cuban coffee espresso machine from Miami.
No thanks.
See, I like your machine, but I really just want to buy a Jura. It's only like $500 more.
Then get the Jura. No, it's not 500 more. It's like 2,000 more.
What?
No, the one I want is like 2,000.
An entry-level Jura?
That's like the second one from entry. That's not an A-series Mercedes. It's like just a classic, basic CLA.
I'm a coffee nerd. I just don't have enough money to be an extreme nerd because like the machines I want are like 15 to 18,000.
That's crazy.
You don't want like the second above entry level?
I would say get the one I have.
What you have is $5,000. This was all part of the sales goal. I said we take 50%
Okay,
of
so
profit.
why don't we just extend the sales goal?
That's not how it works.
It's only going to benefit everybody else here. Especially if we get the milk frother with the side, the milk container on the side so you can just push a button and get a latte.
The guys never have to leave to get coffee.
Yeah. Eventually we'll have a full gas grill so we don't even have to ever leave. There you go.
So the goal is to have a coffee table or a coffee machine here.
We have like 5,000 square feet.
It looks so
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We're making a lounge area here. I'm trying to film here, sir. What do you got here?
Oh,
Nothing.
You saw that.
I love it. It's so
It was
nice.
it was in our opening, brand new old stock.
One of my Grail watches right there.
Wow, you see that cream?
Yeah, dude.
It's light cream. I like heavy cream, but it's
Like
okay.
your coffee, just a little light cream?
Yeah.
Fish tank's coming in here. Put a rug here.
Yeah.
Move out
My
that...
fish tank. Sir?
Your fish tank, moving out that fridge, taking that next door, make this more into a lounge. This sofa is actually moving back to the front. We got a different one that is a little bit smaller, more accessible with the door. I don't know what Matt is filming right now. He's kind of shooting off into the distance, but we're gonna move this table up. We're looking for 2 TRTL 30x6 safes. We're upping our insurance limit to 5 million. Instead of what we currently have, but we need 2 more safes to do that. My thought process is we can probably put another safe on this side or potentially take all of our safes, put them next door in the unit next door, get that all UL certified security wise. We'll play around with that, but this will be another client room. We're testing the waters on carrying some high-end jewelry. There's gonna be another either display case or like a glass vertical jewelry case. Dude, why is it not even, why is
Day's ruined.
Day's ruined. We're not. This is how I secretly get my view count up.
You just replay the same video.
This is how I get my extra 1 view a day. So we're focused in really 5 areas: Cartier, Harry Winston, Van Cleef, and Tiffany & Co. And then we may carry some non-branded jewelry, so things that are much bigger in terms of diamonds, but don't have the brand name. So instead of going for $80,000, $90,000, they go for $30,000, $40,000. That's going to be coming in this week for us to test it. When I say test it, we're not testing the market. We're testing photography. You have to learn how to shoot jewelry because it's a bunch of mirrors in a diamond. So you got to make sure that your photography team can shoot it the right way because you can't edit it because diamonds are how they are. You can't color graded so much where it's a different shade. So we'll see, but that's exciting there. My biggest project, I want reflooring. I just don't know when that'll be.
What type of flooring?
I just want wooden floors, clean up the carpets, probably like a lighter gray.
So we'll keep the carpet and have them cleaned, and then we'll put.
Oh no, take out the carpets, hardwood floors throughout. We wanted to do a big build out, but we're not going to. I personally think, and let me get away from our team when I say this. I come from the finance industry, and so my realistic opinion is that we aren't in a recession yet. We're likely a year away from being in a recession. Now, that doesn't mean watch prices go up or down or whatever the case may be. We're actually seeing, even though watch prices are coming down, we're seeing more and more people buying, because at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the value of the watch. It's about a lot of people are upgrading watches or upgrading their watch. So it's really the difference in what that client has to pay. If your dream watch is a Rolex Daytona, and before at Christmas the white dial was going for $50,000, now they're going for 32, and you're looking to trade your watch in, I think too many people are caught up on what they're getting for the watch, but the number that you want to focus on is what's the difference that you're paying. What are you coming out of pocket? And I think a lot of buyers are recognizing that, hey, this is a really good time to trade in and upgrade, and so we are getting a lot more volume. But going back to my original statement, I think, again, the economy, you guys have all seen the economy come back a little bit. There's talks about recession, how long that might take. I want to make sure that this company remains nimble. You know, we are going to preserve our cash for the right opportunity. Doing a build out right now doesn't really make sense, especially with how expensive construction is. And so we're just going to keep pumping this money back into the company, whether it's sourcing watches, buying watches at a really good price to resell it, investing in infrastructures like our website, our team, things like that. So I would like hardwood floors done. You see that?
What you got?
That's the infamous RM. So
Oh, yeah, that's the one Alfred had on, yeah.
People that don't know, this specific display case is set aside for a partnership that we have that I cannot announce because it's private, but it's a partnership with some very high-end athletes. There are typically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more watches that should be in this case, but they're currently out with specific athletes, and so we kind of swap them every so often. So it's not for sale, it's not on consignment, it's owned by our owners, set aside for a partnership. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Day in the life. What's up, Marco? Hey, you know you're inside, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to authenticate some of the watches that came in today?
Sure.
All right, I'll bring some over.
I got some cool watches to show you today.
Are you gonna do the segment with the shades on, Marco?
I don't have to. It's just my eyes are sensitive, dude. They kind of sore.
I got a lot.
I'm looking for the watches that I sold, but where are they?
Probably in the sold safe.
Hopefully.
This is the incoming safe. You can't just start throwing stuff around, man. Whoa, gentle, gentle.
Where are the rest of them? I need the.
Those. And then the rest are, look at, turn around. They're still coming in. Look, all these boxes are
We're not
around.
ready.
Yeah, we're not ready yet. Those are just the ones that have been processed.
I need the sticky. I need sticky notes on all these.
All right, how many watches came in today? Yeah, a fucking shit ton is what he said. We had double-digit watches coming today. So people that say that we're not buying or consigning or not doing business, I don't care where the market's at. People are buying and selling. Oh, you just pull up 2 paddocks like it's no big deal?
I had a very busy day yesterday. You know that.
Yeah, you had a 5-figure day
Yeah.
in terms of net profit. Oh, is this more?
Sold a lot of watches.
These are all empty or extra boxes that came in.
Oh, are these the ones you bought? You got the invoice for these? So these are empty. So add us to the pile.
This is solid.
All right, cool. No big deal. There you go.
All right, get in the system.
True.
Sounds like we're not ready to authenticate watches just yet.
No, so you do what you need to do, and
I'm
I'll
still
get
trying. I'm collecting info for yesterday still. Sells, but
sales,
sills.
seals and deals.
Yeah, you know it.
Ooh, what'd you get there, Marco?
You guys are very familiar with this watch. This is a watch I've had since roughly 2019, but it is the Tiffany & Co. 16750.
Back on Jubilee, yeah?
Yeah, it's so much more comfortable.
I feel like there's some more in here that I need to pack up.
What are you thinking?
I'm trying to think of all the watches that I got in.
Jesus Christ, Marco and I are gonna be in there for 5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you can skip. What's up?
I think today would be a good day to go through, let the salesman go through everything that's waiting to be photographed. There's a lot of stuff, and there's some stuff that's come back from service that they probably forgot about.
All right. These are sold orders.
Okay.
I mean, obviously they still need to be authenticated, but these are sold orders. How many boxes did you buy?
Like 6 or 7.
And how much?
It was like 1,500 total for everything.
So what did it come out to? Let's see, 50.
250.
Okay, that's a good price. We're stocking up on some Rolex boxes because as you go to the holidays, you know, sometimes we get watches in that are watch only, and obviously For the holidays, people will want the box with it. We always like to have some boxes kind of as a reserve to sell should someone want to make it more than just watch only. You never know with the holidays. I'd rather buy them now, make sure we're prepared. Yeah, we got a mountain of maybe 20 empty Rolex boxes. These are watches that came in today that are already sold. These are all the watches that came in ready for inventory. You gotta keep an eye on Marco. We got things moving. We got him authenticating. Vic's got a client here. We had 2 clients that just left. I'm running around shrink wrapping boxes.
Are these all watches or just boxes?
All watches. We're busy. It's holiday season soon.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Starts now. We have a lot of watches today, so let's just dive right into it because this is going to be a long segment. So we're going to start off with the easy stuff. We have the very first watch out of the gate is the Rolex Sea Dweller 16600 that we just got back from service. It is also available for sale.
Can I interrupt you real quick?
Of course.
So we bought boxes from your guy.
Yeah.
2 boxes are missing cushions.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about these boxes. I might take them back if they're in really bad shape.
They are kind of in tough shape. Do you want to authenticate the boxes too?
I said they were in decent condition. And indecent doesn't mean missing pillows and...
2 are missing pillows.
I saw a corner that was dented in pretty heavily.
Yeah, that's not good.
In my eyes, like, if this is for retail.
Fun part about these watches when they go to service is replacing the crystals. They're very, very difficult to find and typically very expensive. Haven't checked it out, but you know, let's see. Dials in average condition. So a lot of times you'll start seeing older dials. You'll start losing integrity overall, and like it looks like the hands are starting to change colors too. It's almost like you'd kind of like this, Matt. I know you like steels, but the hands are turning to like a ghost color. They're white gold, and they're getting this like really interesting coloring on the base of the hands are turning black, and the top of the hands are turning, it's fading into like a white smoky look. It's kind of cool actually. But yeah, this is a Tritium 16600. Overall very, very nice condition. It's ready to go. Alfred sold a watch. Rose Gold Sky Dweller Oyster Flex. This is a really, really nice watch. It is sold as new and it is as such. These are the crap boxes.
Yeah, I mean 2 are missing pillows, and take a look for yourself.
Oh my god, they look rough.
I don't feel comfortable giving these to clients, but take a look.
This dial looks flawless. No dust, Matt.
Is it just the color of the dial?
It's very difficult to find dust on white dials. I mean, it's almost nearly impossible. Market prices for these at the peak were getting pretty close over to like 50 to 52,000 for these. Now you can have these set watches for somewhere in the mid 40s, you know. I mean, I've seen them as high as 60, but I don't know if they were actually selling. I say they were selling around 55. So I'm gonna get these trash out of the way 1 second. We don't need to worry about these. Another watch Alfred sold. This is a 36126 Looks very, very, very brand new. It looks pretty good. I don't see issues. Black dial, so you know there's dust. I found one already. That's interesting. He drew a star on the plastic. Maybe the star means it's brand new.
He moved up and just writing on them with the Sharpie.
Yeah, I guess so. It was like, man, they got so many watches, they just draw stars on the new ones. So the next watch in the lineup, this is very pretty. 126231 MOP Diamond Dial Factory. These are really, really pretty, especially if we don't find dust on the dial.
That one's looking pretty new.
It is brand new. Yep. It's all good to go. Factory MOP is not very easy to come by. There's very much a demand for it on the retail side because it looks just wonderful on women and whoever wants to wear it, it looks great. This is the new reference, so it does have the more updated 3235 movement. Next watch, Rolex 114060, and this is a older generation no date watch only with just an extra link. This is a watch that when it's faked, they are very, 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 very close to the naked eye. If you don't know what you're looking for, the really good fakes out there versus this one are damn near indistinguishable, because one thing that I like to go to just quick on the fly is I like to look at the date and the date wheel and the date window, because that's always where things get very sloppy, but they eliminated that with this watch, so it makes it a little harder to tell just off the fly. This one looks good. It's definitely been polished. You can tell it's been polished because the bezel teeth on this watch have a little bit of rounding to them, and you can see where the edges got a little smoothed over. Oh man, they scratched the hands on the last service. This is part of authenticating watches, guys. I mean, not everything's perfect that comes through. All right, now we can finally start diving into some boxes. Here's a watch I bought and sold. I'll have to hide the other side of this. This is a Patek 5167.
Hold on. What is this, the owner's manual? What did you set aside?
Oh, I just hit it. It's got the serial number on it, so.
Oh, what's in it?
Oh, it's got the manuals and so forth.
It just looks like a new car, owner's manual. It's so thick.
Yeah. Basically, when you buy a brand new Patek, it'll come with a a leather booklet. It's a really nice leather book. It actually smells pretty good too.
I think that's shell cordovan.
It is. Like, smell it. It's insane. It smells good, right?
It smells wonderful.
I actually feel bad for touching it. This is a Patek 5167R in rose gold, brand new, uncut strap, ready to roll. We just bought and sold it. I do have another one available if you guys are interested. It's not here, but it is available. It's a 2021 with a cut strap. That watch, I'm gonna be asking $81,500 for that. Market value right now on a 2022 5167, you're typically gonna be paying roughly 85 to 87,000. 2021 cut strap, you're gonna probably pay lower 80s, maybe 81,500 to 82. Let's do this watch. I don't know what this is, but it's in a pouch and it's driving me crazy, from Watchbox. Shout out to Watchbox. Oh, this is interesting. Definitely aftermarket. I could just tell by looking at it because the weight is a dead giveaway. This is a aftermarket Saru. This is supposed to look like a factory 1167. See if I can remember this. Don't kill me, guys.
Marco's Googling.
I know, I'm just making sure I got it right. I got it wrong. It's a 116759 SARU. Sometimes you find these guys and they really do nice settings. The diamonds look really nice. Most likely the stones on the bezel are just acrylic of some sort. If you're buying an aftermarket Saru, just know that you're not looping it out for quality. But it looks good. Anytime I'm filming these segments, I just want you guys to know that I get the most calls on the phone when I'm doing this. It's like my phone won't ring when I'm busy at the computer just working, chilling. And I get to doing a segment like this, that phone is going nuts. So the next watch, 6119 Patek Philippe Calatrava. This is probably the best entry-level Patek dress model you can get your hands on. Honestly, think it is such a classic, such a renowned watch, and it's very, very palatable financially. It's not crazy expensive, and it holds value very, very well. 6119R Patek Philippe, and it is a Calatrava. And it is that very, very classic Calatrava look with the seconds at the 6. This is a manual wind model with the Tang Buckle. This is just such a beautiful, simple watch. This is, you know, if it were me, I'd want to throw this on a silver gray Alcantara strap. I think that would just kind of give it more of a daily feel. I don't like leather on watches these days. I don't really find myself ever wearing leather, but I do really appreciate these watches. And I really would love to just have one day on like some kind of interesting strap that isn't alligator.
Hey, let's have a look at that buckle. Look at that.
This is the Tang Buckle that they come with. They're not on deploying. Sometimes you can find these on a deployment. I think on the automatic models they're deploying. Let's see what the next one is. So the next watch we have here, two-tone sky black dial. This watch sold. Vic sold this one, and it was sold as pre-owned. Yeah, definitely pre-owned, never polished. It looks pretty good. So you guys know these Jubilee Sky Dwellers. Great watch. A little big for my wrist personally, but I think they look fantastic. They kind of look like a Datejust. I mean, they look like a Datejust on crack, if I can say that. They just look crazy. Next watch on the list is a 126622 Yachtmaster with the updated 3235. This is an amazing movement, a 72-hour power reserve. My opinion on this watch is going to age great. I actually really love the blue dial on this watch. It actually just completely stands out of any blue. This royal blue is just incredible. It is very, very much rich in contrast with the blue and red. I used to own this watch before. It's funny, I actually sold it because as much as I love the watch, I hated seeing them everywhere. I went one weekend to San Antonio with it, and I must have seen 5 of them. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I just like to be exclusive in what I wear. I mean, you guys know me. You guys see what I wear, so I'm a little on the crazier side. But yeah, this is a really cool watch. Next watch looks like a Date Seamaster, pre-owned with a. God, that dial looks almost salmon, but not really. It's like silver salmon.
Peachy.
It's very peachy. Yes, annual calendar. Okay. Definitely pre-owned, definitely worn. Okay, here's something really cool. The lettering, when you loop it out, it's actually standing off the dial, creating a shadow underneath it. It's like...
It's floating.
It is. Like, literally, I'm not making this up.
There must be like a standoff.
You can't see it. So if you can see the lettering, it's actually like staining off the dial. You see it?
I can
Just
totally see that. It's very cool.
Eric sold a watch. What do we got here? He sold a white gold sub. So he's definitely catching up. 126619 in white gold. As much as I really love the white gold sub, I'm not a particular fan of this new one because I don't like that you're getting a white gold watch with only a bezel color. That's it. To me, I really, really appreciated the old reference with the blue dial, blue bezel. This just kind of dulls it down. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, this watch, otherwise, tons of dust. It looks like a beach on the crystal. On the crystal, bro, chill. It looks good, no problems. That's my opinion of the 126619LB. Okay, here we go. This watch just came in. I'm gonna show you guys 2 Daytonas. I want to show you some really cool. These are 2 modern Daytonas that you should definitely add to your collection. These are gonna be very highly collectible, I think, down the road. And if you guys are out there and you hold your watches, do not ignore these 2 watches. So I just sold this one, and I had this one coming right behind it. The very first watch I'm gonna show you is, it looks like a typical 116520 Daytona. This watch is in just insane mint condition. It is available for sale. I don't know how long it'll last, to be honest. I don't know if it'll even make it to the inventory, because I have a lot of interest in this watch, but this is what they call the APH dial. For an APH dial, it's got all the bells and whistles, got both hang tags, watch card, all the booklets, it's complete. It's a 2015 model with the open card. This would make such a perfect watch for somebody who would want to hold it for a kid and give it to them. Maybe they'd write their name on the card just to make it really theirs. So the next Daytona, see if you guys can catch do you see any difference in there with the next watch?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see a little bit of a difference? So what you have here, and this one sold very fast. This is a Panadol. This is a 116520. The very early variations of these watches that came in Y, K, and P, so that's 2000, 2001, 2002, would qualify for what's called the Panadol or the cream dial. So some of these you guys will see out there. If you guys Google Panadol, P-A-N-N-A, 116520, you'll see some that are actually turned very, very, very creamy. I mean, they turn like if you guys are familiar with the Explorers, the 16550 Explorers from back in the day, from the 80s, they have what they call the cream dials as well. And you know, anything cream, any kind of diode effect with Rolex is going to bring a huge premium. And this watch, not quite the biggest premium because of the color, but it is definitely turning a cream. And you know, if I show you guys the comparison, you can see that it is not white. It is an off color. It's an off white. Some lighting is better than others. If I took this outside, it actually turns a lot creamier. It all has to do with the cream level. If it's like really creamed out, like it's turning yellow, you're gonna spend 50 to 55,000. If you just have a light off white, you're gonna still spend, it's definitely gonna still be under 30,000. And what's cool about these watches is over time they will continue to get creamier, you know, as time goes on. Next watch is a 116710 Blnr. This is a Batman that I brought in. It is the older reference, just watch box and no card. So I will look at this watch carefully, just because I don't have anything to go off of. I'll tell you the one thing they really have a difficult time faking is the bezel on these Batmans and Pepsis, because when you look at a factory Pepsi or a factory black and blue bezel, one thing that I always pick up right away is where the black and blue join. It's always really, really faulty, and it looks horribly overlapped. It just looks like it's melting together as opposed to joining together. But yeah, this watch looks good. It's obviously pre-owned, but it's in excellent condition. Don't see any signs of repolish. That's nice. Light wear and tear on this watch. I don't see anything that stands out to me. We're almost done, guys. We have definitely been cranking out on the next watch. This is the new 126200, and as you guys know, if it ends in 00, it is a smooth bezel. The last 2 digits of the watch will always indicate the bezel and the material. This is a really, really nice, simple, elegant, pretty watch. It came in with that Batman because I had traded a watch for it, so not brand new, but damn near like it. We'll give it the old slider. Next watch. Ooh. It is a 116334 Datejust 2 blue stick. This is such an excellent watch to own. I think this watch will age very well. They're still very, very popular. This watch actually got me into the Datejust 2s when they first came out, because this thing just really has a strong presence to it. One thing you'll notice on the 116334 and the 126334 is it really has a kind of like a fatter bezel on it. It kind of has more oomph to it. The sticks on the 116334 dial have more luminova and just have like this, you know, almost like a Date 82 vibe. If you guys, you know, familiar with the Date 82s, it kind of just gives me a different vibe from the newer ones. Again, the blue on this watch is just so deep in nature, and I don't know, it just looks really, really, really cool. Nice and used. We're gonna repolish this watch for sure, and it is complete with watch box and papers. I was parking cars when this watch was sold.
Right on.
Violently parking cars.
Violently?
Yeah.
This is actually true. I was a very bad valet. Oh, what is this? Oh God.
Nice.
I hate this. I'm just telling you right now. I hate this eBay authentication crap. eBay made a really dumb move with that, but that's just my opinion. I need to dive a little deep into this watch because I'm gonna tell you guys, I already see issues. This is what's so frustrating with these older Datejusts is Half the time, people slap these things together in a garage in some form or fashion, and it's horrible because they put these really crappy spring bars in there that have they're like a one-way street. They go in, they won't come out. I can't even get the band off if I wanted to. Right away, the end links are aftermarket. Let me show you how ghetto this is. You see how they cut a tab on the top side but not the bottom side? The end links are garbage. 455B, which are clearly stamped aftermarket. They're not good. The rest of the band's questionable. Okay, so the rest of the band's correct. It just doesn't have original end links. They didn't forget this one. They didn't forget to carve out the, the spring bar holes.
They just take a little Dremel and...
Yeah, they took a little Dremel and just made space. Take the time and go ask somebody for the original spring bars. They're not that hard to find. All right, we finally got that crap off. Oh, 16000. That's interesting. I haven't seen that reference in a really long time. Not the greatest condition dial. Got chicken scratch all over it. This is just a project watch, man. I gotta talk to who brought this in because I don't like this watch at all. Anything that could go wrong with this watch has already gone wrong. The hands are not in great condition. They're tarnished. The dial has scratches all throughout. I mean, visible scratches.
No dust, though.
This watch has blue water and a sandy beach. And thanks, eBay, for tightening the case back so tight. So this is gonna have a 30-35 quick set. Hopefully it has that. Oh yes, it does. 30-35. Not the nicest movement either. Golly, this case is in bad shape, guys. I would argue this case at the point needs to be replaced. There's a level of quality I won't allow through the door, and this right here is not something I would honestly allow on the website because I know this is not a good watch to sell somebody. It looks like somebody stored this thing outside or something.
Still ticking though. Look at it.
Yeah, I mean the 30-35 is a beast of a movement. You can't knock them down, but still, I just wouldn't want to sell somebody this type of quality. We decided to handle it appropriately. So Eric just brought in a watch from my client. No date sub, brand new, fresh from the AD apparently.
One of the Ask Us Anything questions for last week was date or no date. And I forgot to ask you, date or no date?
Date or no date?
Yeah.
I'm going with the date. Definitely 100% I need a date. If it's a basic watch that I'm just going to use for whatever reason, just to have, I would like a date on it at least.
It's probably because you're a GMT guy.
I am a GMT guy, yeah, and they have dates. You know, I was talking to somebody, I was like, how interesting would it be if they made a GMT without a date? But I guess you really couldn't, right? I mean, you need the 24-hour function and so forth. I mean, I guess in theory you could. Last watch. I know you're going to be happy that this segment is ending, Matt. You can go.
Yeah, my hands hurt.
Your hands hurt? Do they really?
No.
This is a watch that I bought and sold for a client. This is an AP 15500. Excellent condition, pre-owned. These are the newer ones, so they have the new movement and so forth, all the new updates. This is a really pretty watch. It smells interesting. God, that has a really weird smell. Here, check that out.
It smells like a sporting goods store.
Yeah, it does. It smells like a...
Like where all the punching bags and stuff are, like neoprene type smell.
It definitely has that smell to it. Come on in.
Hi.
What's up?
I was just checking on the status of all of these babies.
We are on the last one. So yeah, that ends the segment, guys. And I just want to thank you guys for hanging with me on this one. This one took a minute. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything more that you want to see out of these segments, please drop a comment below and let me know what you want to see, and I'll check it out.
Welcome back to another episode of Ask Us Anything. I've missed you all. I was gone last week on a business matter, working on another partnership that I think will hopefully come to fruition. But before I jump into this week's Ask Us Anything, something that I want to clarify is a question I've seen quite a bit. Why isn't Marco the sales manager? Now, the reason why Marco's not a sales manager is because we expect his role to expand as this company grows. So one of the things is I expect Marco to travel a lot more to IWJG and other watch shows. We're starting to, again, have a lot more clientele, especially the higher end clientele. I believe Marco will go with other members of our team to meet these clients in person. He's also a huge platform for selling watches, and he enjoys selling watches, and I believe that there should be a separation between selling and managing. Because if you're doing both, you're likely gonna start selling more and not focusing on developing the team, which is what we need at this moment in time. Now, this is a very crucial hire because I think with the right sales manager, we can do 2x or 3x the revenue that we're currently doing right now. We need someone that's there every single day, Monday through Friday, in that room with them, listening to the conversations, staying on top of these guys to making sure that they follow up with leads, making sure that they're answering the leads properly, making sure that there's a good team culture, making sure that they improve on their skill set. So, again, Marco is a great asset to the company. However, if he's traveling quite a bit or dealing with clients, he's not going to be in that room developing the team like we want someone to do. So that's why he's not the sales manager. Matt, what do you got for us in terms of questions this week? I'm long overdue.
Derek T says, question for next week. Do famous people like movie stars, football, baseball, and golf players have an impact on watch pricing?
I don't necessarily believe so. I think that the watch market is much bigger than any one individual. Now, the argument can be made that maybe they impact one specific watch, especially if that's a limited edition watch or a low production watch. But in terms of the overall market, I don't think so. I think it's much bigger than any one individual.
I don't think it has to do with pricing, but it's definitely has to do with popularity. A good example of this is a Rolex Master, right? Like, those things are notoriously known for being what we call dogs, a watch that just doesn't sell. When Drake was seen wearing one, I think it was courtside, and then in a few other pictures, I actually did have people ask me about that same exact watch and almost sold one of them. Just because a celebrity wears it, it doesn't mean the price goes up. It definitely means the popularity goes up. Dealers could charge more if they wanted to, but you don't see that happening too much.
Absolutely. It's almost a sense of supply and demand, right? If your favorite movie star is wearing a watch and then everybody goes and buys that watch, you know, therefore there is no more supply, but the demand is high. So I think depending on who your following is, it definitely has an impact on the watch market.
They definitely can. Not so much right now, but when the other markets are in bull runs, they do have the capability of trending a watch, particularly as you guys have seen, John Mayer talking watches. You saw that he had the blue dial 116509 and the green dial 116508 dubbed the John Mayers, and you know, those went up crazy after he kind of talked about them. But that was also during a bull run when the prices were already going up. So he kind of just took notice of those watches and brought them up. And then you have, like, you know, is it Pharrell Williams? He had the RM with the astronaut on the dial. That thing went crazy because he owned one. And you know, there's gonna be a lot of watches out there that if certain celebrities are wearing them, they're gonna have very high desirability.
Mr. Yummy says, for the next AMA, I'd like to know what everyone did before they got into the gray market business.
I owned a house painting business in Eugene, Oregon for 4 years, I think, called JOC Painting. I owned it completely. Did that for a little bit. I was in college and I dropped out, ran my house painting business, and then I moved to Dallas, Texas in 2021, and I still do it. I own a roofing company. So I've owned 2 businesses there, and then I got into watches.
Before I was in the investment industry, wealth management. I spent the last 4 years working at a wealth management firm, working with high net worth individuals. Actually never wanted to leave. I was making great money. Probably could have retired early too, but the opportunity to build something from the ground up was really, really appealing to me. I've always had an entrepreneurial side, so here I am.
Mr. Yummy, I like that name. I was in the car business for 7 years, did some finance and sales.
I'm sure you guys know the answer to that question. I used to valet cars. I used to buy and sell cars.
I used to be like a sneaker botter, is what they call it. But I also used to sell clothes. I sold cars for myself, so I think I still have my auction license. Pretty much anything I can get my hands on. PS5s were great for me, Xbox Ones were great for me. Just a bunch of that stuff, and then crypto a little bit here and there.
Jim Cruz says, AMA for Marco. Rolex has granted your wish and they release a new model just for you. What would it be?
I've actually have the perfect watch in mind. It would be an Oyster Flex Platinum Baguette Daytona. That would be the modern watch that I would just go crazy for. I think that would be really, really, really sick with the baguette dial. Same watch you guys know, but obviously on the Oyster Flex version.
Matt854 says, question for next week. If you had to daily a modern classic car, what car would you pick?
A modern daily car. Maybe a 996.2. I'm a Porsche guy. I love my Porsches. I do like more of a vintage car, like a Mercedes 280.
I would go with an air-cooled 911. I love Porsches. That'd be just a really, really cool. I've always been thinking about getting one, so I think when I make more money, I'm gonna get one of those for sure, and then obviously something a little more modern.
Probably a 68, 69 Trans Am, you know, with all upgraded suspension internals, and man, that's a beast of a car for sure.
100% be a Porsche 356, red.
Maybe like an old school Rolls Royce. It'd be kind of fun. I don't know. Or if it was like a sports car, like probably I'd definitely say like a air-cooled Porsche 911 with a whale tail. Those are really cool.
Teacher Help says, question of the week. If you could only pick one movement from any watch manufacturer, which one would you pick and why?
I would say a simple 31-35 movement. You know, the Rolex Submariner has a time and a date function, a 70-hour power reserve, which is plenty enough.
Probably the 72.7, as it's a beautiful movement that Rolex modified from the Valjean movement. I mean, they just look amazing. They're classics. They work well. They're reliable, and they're still ticking to this day. So they're great.
It'd probably have to be like one of those 6102 Grand Comps from Patek. It's a Grand Comp Patek, so why not?
The movement I'm gonna go with is the 3135. Obviously, it's in the Submariner. That's a great piece, super shock resistant, 31 jewels. I mean, it's just a really cool, obviously a workhorse kind of movement.
Kevin Fair says, what tools do you use to evaluate the current market on a weekly basis?
Dealer chats, typically we see what the watches are trading for among all the dealers. We see actual live sales happening. We see what the asking prices are for a lot of these watches. Also, when we put calls out, that also kind of gives us a glimpse into what the dealer prices are. So, also listings, in certain groups and so forth also help with that too.
Alwyn Lewis says, what's your guys' opinion on Tag Heuer, and would your company ever sell them?
Well, we carry Tag Heuer. We've carried Tag Heuer for quite some time. And actually, in last week's episode, I actually bought a Tag Heuer, which is this one that I'm wearing right here, which is my new daily that I absolutely love. It's a Tag Heuer Fragment Edition. And Marco has a 1963 Heuer that he somehow has in his possession. So I've been trying to pull that from his arms, or his hands. So yes, we carry Tag Heuer, and I love the brand.
Tag Heuer, not a fan. Heuer, I'm a huge fan.
Why?
Well, Heuers have like a really classic, vintage vibe. They have like this robust chronograph, like tool watch feel. Like they don't feel like a modern, they're not busy at all. You know what I mean? When you look at a Heuer, they're very simple, they're very to the point. It almost feels like a vintage Rolex in a sense. Like they're just straight to the point. Like Heuers in general, like 2446, like if you guys Google that, it's a very classic chronograph, which we have one available. They're fantastic. I don't know, they look great. I'd wear one. I mean, heck, it's not a bad watch to wear. And they're pricey for what they are, So it's like you're paying $12,000 to $15,000 for a Heuer versus probably $2,000 to $4,000 for a Tag Heuer, same watch. Like they do make a Tag Heuer, it's like a homage to the original Heuer, but they're not that great. Jimmy has one. It's no go. He needs an original Heuer, in my opinion.
RZ says, what do you all consider to be the canary in the coal mine for your industry, and what do you have in place to be prepared?
If I'm understanding this correctly, canary in the coal mine is something that could be coming up that could affect the entire industry. Is that right, Matt?
That's correct.
Whew, this is an interesting question. And I'm going to start turning some ears here, so listen closely. I believe, with the information that I have on good authority from my connections at Rolex, that Rolex will soon be offering certified pre-owned. And that's gonna have a huge impact on the gray market. And I'm not gonna tell you what we're doing about it because I've been brainstorming about this for the last several months, but I'll tell you that we got a plan. See you next week, guys.